Brittany Renner is attempting a comeback with this new podcast, but it's the worst podcast ever. I watched every episode. It's about 7 minutes each, but you take nothing from this podcast, bro. Like you learn nothing. There's nothing to draw from this. Like on one of the episodes, she literally admitted that she lies about reading books.
People have asked me, what books have I read to get here? I don't read many books. I like to have my own thoughts, come to my own conclusion. I love people and I love conversation. I love learning and bouncing perspective. But books, I'm like, there's a lot of books I bought on my Kindle. Read a few pages, I'm done.
Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we wasting our time with, bro? And the reason why people is asking her what books she enjoyed to read or what books have helped her the most is because she has done content at Barnes and Noble. She has done content surrounding books, but she would admit that all of that is performative and her just trying to look different.
Same with just going to Barnes and Noble. I like the cover. It seems like a good idea, but I'm not even going to crack it open. It's, I don't know, maybe just for the plot and for my character being dramatic. And I'm so different. I'm in Barnes and Noble buying books.
I don't know about y'all, bro, but somebody who changes their personality this often, I don't trust. I don't want to hear from. I want nothing useful from. This woman literally admitted, right, that she lied about reading books, and she goes to Barnes and Nobles and record content in Barnes and Nobles so she could kind of develop the character of a girl who likes to read books. But the only problem is she doesn't like to read books. Wouldn't just being yourself be a whole lot easier? But just like, she pretended to be a girl who loved to read books, she also bastardized and pretended, to be a Muslim, okay, when she had no intentions whatsoever of ever engaging or following Islam long term. She did address during this episode why she played with these folks' religion, why she wore the hijab, pretended to be Muslim just for Instagram, just to hop right back on Instagram a couple months later in booty shorts, showing cheeks with no hijab, claiming that Islam is just not for you. So she addressed it, but she spent much of the episode conditioning us, and we didn't know we were being conditioned, but she were conditioning us to not be so harsh when we finally hear the reason why she decided to play with Islam, right? So she starts off by claiming that like she transitioned to Islam because she was bored.
When people question how I got to Islam, this was nothing that happened overnight. I felt like I was at my wit's end. I also was very bored with social media because I felt like I mastered it. I mastered the trolling. I mastered the sexy. I sneeze and I'm on the shade rooms. Where is the challenge?
Some people get bored and they go back to college. They start a new business. They get a new hobby. She got a new religion, okay? Now, as she continues, bruh, it's just more brain rot. Like, she goes on to explain how her converting a Muslim was her way in being modest. She felt like she needed a way to stop, right? Like dressing like a bop, stop wearing revealing things, right? Stop showing her Libya print to the internet. So Muslim was her way of dressing modest. And I'm just sitting back like, if only there was a way to act modest without adopting a religion you don't believe in.
Am more than what I am portraying. Feel like I'm more than this. That was the initial thought, the initial spark. And then it rolled into being drawn to Islam, Pacific Ocean. I know that I'm more than this. How do I get out of this? Because I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills if I'm not doing what I've always done. And it's kind of like being a drug dealer. You're like, I'm used to this type of money. What happens when I don't want to do that anymore? What happens now that I want to make legitimate money? What does that look like for me? I was being drawn to Islam in 2024. This was my purification process. I'm more than my body. I'm more than the sexy. I'm tired of feeling like a circus animal. And if I'm leading with beauty, body, booty, let me just take it away. I felt like a hermit crab without its shell. And Islam provided that protection I needed while I was rebuilding myself. Quite literally cloaked myself with my clothing, with my hijab.
This chick is insane, bro. Yo, there's not two options here, right? The only two options are not become a Muslim or dress and act like an absolute bop and be a disgrace to your family. You got more options than that, bro. You could have literally been a human being who stuck with your religion. but just wear more modest clothing. Just don't act like how you were acting online. Just don't show your Libya print. All right? Just don't sleep with 100 different men in a month. You don't need Islam to be modest. But she told on herself when she says this was my purification process, we know what that meant. Every bop transitioned to religion for the purification, right? She they reach a point in their bopness where they have a hard time getting a man to take them seriously. They have a hard time getting rid of the stigma surrounding their name. They have a hard time outrunning their reputation. So they transition to religion so they can now be viewed as whole and born again. And that's what she did. Brittany Renner transitioned to Islam to sleep with a married man, bruh. It's really that simple from my perspective.
Allahu Akbar. When I originally joined Instagram July of 2012, I joined for two reasons: validation and male attention. And now that I no longer need either of those things, I am developing a new relationship with just social media itself. So my posting has been a bit inconsistent. I've been Muslim for 5 months and I love it here. Haven't had a drink in 6 months. Haven't had sex in 8 months. And I changed my number 4 months ago. So if you went green, now you know why. This has been a really beautiful purification process for me of the mind, heart, body, and soul, and an opportunity for me to meet myself deeper. What I have discovered is how deserving I have always been and am. Even with wearing the hijab, trusting so much so.
This chick is a sociopath, bro. Don't buy nothing she's saying right. Bunk everything she done said in this video and she said right now. The reason why she really became Muslim, in my opinion, from my perspective, is so she can start messing with a married man, man. This chick is crafty, bro. Kevin Gates is Muslim. She knows he could have multiple wives. She wanted to be one of his wives. So she became Muslim and popped out married to Kevin Gates shortly after.
I've been seeing y'all courtside. He referred to you as his wife in videos. Is this confirmed? Like, okay, like, not my cousin. Where did y'all get? Let's go to the next question. Okay, so that's what's up. Congratulations. How is it being a wife? Like, what's your favorite part about being a wife?
Being with the person that I love the most.
Yeah.
His name echoes in every chamber of my heart. So to be able to experience life with him has really just been a dream come true.
Yes. And on the show, have the girls been acceptance to your new faith as well on the show, or did you feel like you had to fight for that as well?
Again, I don't answer to mortals about, anything like that. But we got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam.
I'm not acknowledging that nonsense as no marriage, bro. Kevin Gates wanted to hit it and quit it, man. He got into it for a month, seen it wasn't hitting on none, and left. He hit it and quit it for a month and broke up with you and dumped you, left you to the curb. And then once she realized, right, once she truly figured out, bro, once she realized, man, that Muslim or not Muslim men, that men ain't ish and men are the same, now all of a sudden she's back and she's liberated and she's free. Now, I feel like the most absurd part about this, man, is how she views herself as a victim. Like, she literally said the reason why she was acting like a bop, acting like a scallywag, acting like a predator, just acting like a waste woman, right? Which ultimately she needed Islam to save her from herself. The reason why she acted that way is because people had those opinions of her. So from her perspective, she thinks this makes sense. That because people were calling her a gold digger, a scallywag, a bob, promiscuous, like predator, that because people were calling her those names, that she then took on the identity of that as some type of coping mechanism, which I'm not buying at all.
I never knew I was capable of such discipline. There's a time and a place for everything. That's definitely something I learned there. Nobody is entitled to anything, not a handshake or a hug. And I am more than this physical vessel. Hijab or not, the right people, person, opportunities will see that. I got to lead with me. It was nice. Social media and the scrutiny that I was receiving on a daily basis made me feel like a Black widow. So I'm like, you know what? If that's what you guys think I am, then that's what I am. And I'm actually going to brand it on myself instead of bucking the narrative and saying that's not me. My belief was if I make myself big and scary, nobody will bother me or hurt me. Ooh, I'm the big bad succubus manipulative gold digging whore. Ooh, watch out. When you see me, cross the street. Get up, move out the way when I'm on the sidewalk. Move. I thought that was keeping me safe. And that was easily debunked. Pretending to be something I'm not did not keep me safe. And in fact, it exposed me to even more torment.
Ban podcast mics, man. Throw away the podcast mics, bro. Put 1,002% tariff on all podcast mics, bro. There needs to be a price if you want to purchase these mics to spew stupidity. You need to really pay a price, bro. This woman just said that she was shocked that she became tormented because she decided to present herself as the worst characters that any woman could ever present themselves as, which is a gold-digging predator who preyed on an innocent underage boy while he was in college, as a woman who is really promiscuous, who's getting trained right and left, as a woman who don't know how to keep her legs closed, as a liar and a goofy, as a skin. She decided that she was going to adopt all those characteristics, according to her, to keep herself safe, but she was shocked that it actually was tormenting. Yeah, duh. Yeah, usually being a terrible person is tormenting, right? And in society, usually people who are terrible and they're viewed as terrible don't really have a good time in society. Yeah, duh. But I'm not even buying it was an act, though. I'm not. I'm not buying this was some type of act that she was pretending. No. That was who she really was. That was who she really was. Now, this entire thing was like contradiction. She didn't blame people for putting those stigma on her while at the same time, like, admitting, right, that she went out here with the intent to make people feel this way about her, to live her truth, and put everything out there regardless of how people feel. So she went out of her way to convince people that she were these things. So then folks began to call her these things, and then she began to enact the worst possible versions of those things as a coping mechanism. Man, get rid of these podcast mics today, bro.
I have never wanted to accept these stories that how a woman should be, how a woman should act. You can only get this if you act like that. I just have never subscribed to that. So yes, my function is I'm bucking that. You know what? I'm going to sit on this couch with Shannon Sharp, talk about my body count freely. It doesn't matter if it was 35 or 3,500. Because at the end of the day, I have to answer to the things that I do. I have to be okay with myself. I have to be able to look in the mirror. But I'm going to sit across from these polarizing personalities, share candidly in my car, post what I feel like. And I am going to get everything I want, and you guys are going to watch me do it. Years of exaggerating my personality because I felt like it was more entertaining. With all of the feeling the need to perform for several years, I created my own pretty prison.
Deliberately exaggerated your personality, deliberately said things that you knew were off-putting for a woman, but it were your truths. Like, for example, 35 or 3,500 bodies, you don't care. You're going to talk about all the men in the industry you slept with and sucked off and got your back broken with and wanted to have 2 or 3 men at the same time. You did these things to yourself. You got the reward because you got the fame, right? Like, you wanted to get famous. You got famous for it. But now because you can't take the consequences, we all got to suffer for it, all right? Now it's our fault. We put these stigmas on you. Man, cut it out, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Do y'all feel Brittany Renner redemption Or do y'all feel like it's time to just cut the mics, bro? like stop it right now, man. Let me know in the comment section, okay? And if you're still watching this video and want to watch another good video, then click on this video here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here on my screen to find out, all right, exactly why 6ix9ine just disrespected black people really badly and told us to come do something about it. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. Out of here, folks. Peace.